there were definitely bits of The Good Soldier that I enjoyed, and it had the potential for me to really like it had I taken a different approach with it, but I can't say that I absolutely loved it. This was released in 1981. It's directed by Kevin Billington. The screenplay is by Julian Mitchell. It's based on The Good Soldier by Ford Madox Ford. And I feel like had I read it first, I might have enjoyed it more, because it was released in 1915. It's definitely the kind of story that I would have loved to have actually read and to have enjoyed as a novel. Maybe I will one day. And then I would have preferred the experience to then have my own images in my own head and then see how they were portrayed in the film. So for me, that would have been a better experience. I would have enjoyed it a lot more from start to finish. But that being said, I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it as much as I perhaps could have done. We have a cast including Robin Ellis and Vickery Turner as John and Florence Dowell. And we have Jeremy Brett and Susan Fleetwood as Edward and Leonora Ashburnham. We also have John Ratzenberger as Jimmy. And it's because of Ratzenberger that I became aware of this. And when I read the description, I thought this could go either way for me. And as I said, I did enjoy it, but I think I would have preferred the experience had I read it first, and then I could experience the director's vision for how it translated to film. And it's about two couples who frequently spend vacations together at this spa in Germany. And it's about their relationships with each other, their relationships within the couple. And it starts off very gentle, very pleasant, but then things start to happen and it gets a little bit dramatic. And I don't want to give away too much about it, but there are some interesting things that happen. But there is definitely a lot of fluff. There are certainly things in this that I thought were quite slow. The film itself is about an hour and 40, maybe a little bit over that, and I think it could have been condensed to about an hour and 20, maybe an hour 25, without really losing anything. But again, had I read the novel, and I could visualise, I'm assuming a lot of the slower scenes were also taken from the novel. Had I visualised them myself, I would have then enjoyed watching those slower scenes a little bit more, because I'd be comparing what's in my head versus what's on the screen. So, not a perfect experience, but in general, it's a well-written story. The characters are very well written. The performances are very good. The costumes are gorgeous. The music is really lovely as well. So there are a lot of positives about The Good Soldier. There are certainly enough things in this that I enjoyed that I came away from it feeling pretty happy. But as I said, I didn't love it. It was a little slow. There are definitely scenes that really slowed the pacing down. Had I read it, I'm pretty confident it would have been a very different experience. So that's worth bearing in mind. If it sounds like it might appeal to you and you think maybe you'd like to read the novel first, maybe that's worth doing. And that's also something I'm going to bear in mind for future films as well. If I come across an adaptation that sounds interesting and I haven't read the original story, maybe I'll consider doing that first. The Good Soldier is an okay film. I can't comment on how it's adapted, of course. I don't know if it's exactly the same as the novel. If anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. The characters are well written, the events are quite unpredictable, which definitely helps to make it more engaging in between the slower moments. And in general, I'm happy to have seen The Good Soldier. I might read it at some point, which is a good sign, because I guess if I hated it, I'd have no interest in reading it. So keen to see what the novel is like, and if it sounds like it's something that might appeal to you, then I'm happy to recommend The Good Soldier.